everybody. It is Hildegard von Peppermint here, and it's sure been a while. I'm super hyped right now because I just got back from the theaters and I watched Transformers 1, and it was fantastic, phenomenal, completely blown away. So I'm going to be telling every single thing I possibly can about that in 10 minutes. Hopefully this is somewhere around 10 minutes, I talk a lot. Basically spoilers. It's really good, and it's in the theaters right now, so go watch it or you could do like me and just watch all of the spoilers, and then decide that you actually really like the thing, and then watch it, and then wish you hadn't gotten spoiled for it, because it's actually really good. So, let's start. So I'm gonna start with the first, like, how it opens, which is Orion Pax, totally just a normal miner dude, walking, sneaking into the archive, and, like, looking up myths on the Matrix, and then busting out. And this is very obvious, and then, like, getting caught and then running away. So then, literally, all of the guards recognize him. This is a very common thing. Like, everyone seems to know, like, him again, right? So, he's running around, trying to escape from these guards, and he can't transform. He's cogless, which a transformation cog or T-cog lets you transform. They never said that. I think they might have said that in the movie, but they just kind of just was like, hey, these guys are cogless, they can't transform. So that was good. They didn't, like, exposition cram it down our throats. There was a little bit of exposition about the primes, which I'll get into later, and then we meet D16, who's totally not going to turn evil later, and he distracts the guards, and helps Orion escape, and then Orion gives him a Megatronus sticker because they are besties, literally besties, and then they're going to do their mining shift, and Alita 1 is their mining captain, and then she's all just like, yeah, I've never done anything wrong, I'm about to get promoted, and everyone's like, yeah, chef, and then they go do the mining, and then the mining explodes, so then everyone leaves, and everyone's running, and then everyone leaves Jazz to die, except for the main characters, and Jazz loses his leg, but they're robots, so that's not important. So then Alita 1 gets demoted, to waste management, because of, I guess, not letting someone die. Well, it wasn't even her fault. She wanted them to let him die. So basically she gets demoted for no reason. Orion is very mad about this. He almost gets punched, and then D16, catches the punch, punches him himself, and then gets punched. So they both get punched. And then they're both complaining about this. And then I'm just saying, they are so much besties in this the first half of the movie, and it literally is just Orion doing crazy stuff, and then D16 being like, Orion, bestie, please stop trying to get us killed, and then Orion just being like, but, like, we can be so much more than this. So they end up entering into, like, this race on foot. It's like a car race, but they can't transform, so they're on foot. But they have jetpacks for a little bit, and they almost win the race. But then they get hit by a car, and Chromia wins. Which is another thing great. I love how all the background characters were just other Transformers, that are, like, actual things. Like, you can see Ironhide, Sideswipe, RC, and it's great. So then they get demoted again. Well, not technically. One of these guys really doesn't like them, and then kicks them to, like, the lowest level, where B something or other numeric code is waiting out, like, oh my gosh, people, hi! And then he has, like, some, like, inanimate objects who he pretends to be his friends, who end up having a SOS signal in one of their heads. That is one of the 13 primes, Alpha Trion, basically saying, hey, help us, the Quintessons, they're killing us, help! And Sentinel Prime has been looking for the Quintessons. Well, he's been looking for the Matrix of Leadership, because the Matrix of Leadership is missing. And the Quintessons are gone. They've gone in quotation marks. So then they're like, oh my gosh, this is a map. We know exactly where the Matrix of Leadership is. We can go and then we can save Cybertron, because the Matrix of Leadership is complicated. I'll get to that later too. So they go to the surface. They meet up with Alpha Trion, who isn't dead. He's just knocked out. They feed him some Energon, and then he's alive again. And interestingly, there were some organic plants on the surface, which is something we haven't seen since Beast Machines, which is pretty cool. Well, in like movies, in like actual on screen, there's been some stuff in the comics, but basically they meet up with Alpha Trion. Alpha Trion's like, Sentinel Prime, that guy's evil. Oh yeah, by the way, the planet is ruled by Sentinel Prime, which is never a good sign. And basically, then they show him, like, they show our main group. Alita 1 is there too. Now she joined up with them. And then he's like, hey, look, he killed everybody. Except for me, because I didn't die, because I'm just built like that. And then they're like, oh my gosh, Sentinel Prime just betrayed us. And then they go conveniently walk outside, and then literally Sentinel Prime is making a deal like with the Quintessons, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'll get you your money, you know. But it's not money, it's Energon. But he's literally doing the, I'm sorry, I'll get the rest to you soon, like, you know, I didn't snort the drugs, I promise. And then D16 does not take this well, and he's all just like, oh my gosh, everything I knew is a lie. And then he's having a little existential crisis, and everyone else is like, what are we supposed to do now? So then Orion's like, hey, I mean, don't you want to stop him? You know, like, we can bring him to justice. And then D16's like, no, I want to kill him. And then everyone's like, that's rough, buddy, you know, chill. And things only get worse from there. Then they leave, and then they meet up with Starscream and the Wave dudes, and all the other Decepticons and Seekers, and the Coneheads are there too. I actually exclaimed in the theater when I saw the Coneheads, because I was like, it's the Coneheads! But basically, they're all there, and then D16 absolutely freaks, yells at Starscream, beats him up in front of everyone, and then gets an arm cannon. Oh yeah, they can transform now. They got the T-Cogs of some of the Primes, though it's a little unclear which one. I'm guessing, thematic reasons, I'm guessing that Optimus got Prima, but I don't, and someone got Micronus, that's all I remember. I was like, why are they giving Micronuses, you know? That's like the lame one. Well, it's not lame, but you know what I mean. And then, basically, then they get found, and then all the characters get kidnapped, except for Alita 1 and Orion, and then the Wave dudes, and then some of the other Seekers, and, like future Decepticons. So then they're like, okay, we gotta break him out. And then meanwhile, back at the ranch, D16 is like, I'm not gonna bow to you. And then B is like, dude, just bow to him. You're gonna get killed. So then he, like, takes, like, the little sticker, like, Megatronus sticker, which is literally just a Decepticon symbol, and then he's like, huh. Sentinel Prime's like, huh, you know, this is kind of funny. I bet that, I'm not surprised you'd want to wear his face instead of mine. Here, let me make sure it never comes off. And then brands the Decepticon logo into his chest. Way to go, buddy. And then there's some more fighting. They end up doing, like, a big transmission broadcast that, like, shows that everybody's Sentinel Prime is super evil dudes. And then everyone gets super mad, and Megatron, he's almost Megatron, he's not Megatron quite yet. D16, is like, I'm gonna kill you, and he's using his arm cannon, he's, like, gonna shoot him, and then Orion is like, dude, stop, we won, we aren't like him, we have to be better than him, and then D16 is like, dude, get out of my way! And then he pushes him out of the way and he's going to shoot him, but Orion Pax, being Orion Pax, jumps in the way and gets his entire, like, right side of his body obliterated. And then falls off the ledge. And then D16 catches him. He's just like, no, bestie, what are you doing? And then he's like, why did you do that? My bestie, you're dead. You're like gonna die. And he's like freaking out for like 2 seconds. And then he's like, wait a minute. You're not my best friend anymore. I don't need to feel sad about this. And then he blinks, his eyes turn red, and he says, I'm not going to save you anymore, all dramatically. And then he drops him into the plot hole. Well, no, into a hole where plot happens. The Deus Ex Machina hole. And then, so and he kills Sentinel Prime. He rips him in half. And then he takes out his T-Cog, which was actually Megatronus' T-Cog. And then he says, I am Megatron. And then Orion falls into literally the planet's core, and all the 13 primes are all like, hey, buddy, Primus has chosen you. You're set. Give him the Matrix of Leadership. And then he goes up. He's Optimus Prime now. And then they fight. And then Optimus Prime wins, obviously, and then he kicks Megatron out like, it didn't have to be this way. You were my brother, Anakin. Kicks him out, and all the Decepticons too. There's a good All Hail Megatron reference in there too. And then they all fly away, and then there's like this little sad flashback scene where he's just like, when they first meet, he's like, oh, look, I'm Megatron. Megatron is my hero. Look at all these stickers I'm putting up on my little sleeping cryopod. And he's like, and then Orion is like, oh, yeah, I've never mined before. Have you? And he's like, nope, but we can watch each other's back, and then we'll be fine. Hi, you're my best friend now. And you're just like, oh, this is slightly sad. And then, so that's basically the plot. A couple things that I noticed were the 13 primes were a little bit weird because Zeta is one of the 13 primes in this, which is, I don't know which one they took out to put Zeta in, but Zeta had the Matrix. The Matrix isn't Prima's sword in this one, the hilt of Prima's sword, which I thought was a little strange. The Quintessons, they were kind of there. I mean, I wasn't really sold on the Quintessons design. They weren't bad. They weren't really important other than being this big overarching threat. So that wasn't a big deal. And then the Matrix of Leadership. It basically is the All Relic. It had the abilities of the Allspark, Vector, Sigma, and the Matrix of Leadership. So, or Sigma, I'm not even sure what it is. My goodness, it's like past my bedtime. And so it can give life through the T-Cogs. It gives all the people who got their T-Cogs removed T-Cogs back, because their T-Cogs got removed by Sentinel Prime. I'm all over the place today. And then it makes Energon flow through Cybertron, and the planet comes back to life, which is, you know, also just normal stuff. So yeah, so that's basically it. Loved this movie. Go watch it. I'm probably going to be freaking out about and fangirling for Megatron, because this movie did Megatron so good, guys. Like, he's like great, you know, very, very good. Yeah, that's it. Plasma, do you want to say something?
Alright.
You have 2 minutes.
Alright, so pretty much what I've observed about this movie is that this is probably going to be the start of the new, like, Transformers, and it's going to be, this is the start, and then there's going to be a new movie, which is going to be, like, the end of the war, and then it's going to lead in, and then they're going to put out, like, where the other movies would be taking place.
Okay, yeah, so,
That's
thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.